Hi everyone, I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Is the Day. Father Reed, not here, but he will be back next week. We might even see him in this program today. And Kevin, we have a great program and a premiere today.
Great, a little tease there. Father Reed could be here.
Could be, maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
We have a great guest, Bill Donaghy here. He's a professor, he's a speaker, Theology, the body speaker. He's also a Catholic dad. We're going to be talking to him a little later on.
All that and much more right now on This Is the Day. Hello, hello, hello.
I didn't realize we were on the show.
You know what? I have to tell you what just happened. I'm Jay Fadden, joined by my good friend Kevin Nelson. And as we said, Father Reed may or may not be here. We'll see. There's a story behind that, too. There's a lot of stories going on today. But what happened is Kevin and I were both looking at multi-channel news, this magazine right here. And the reason we're looking at it is because there's Kate Andrews right there from Catholic TV, who's now a star because she's the first picture on multi-channel news. My picture wasn't there. Was your picture over there?
I don't even think I was mentioned in there.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
that's great. No, that's terrific.
Just says that she's joined Catholic TV and a little bit about her and her master's degree and so on and so forth. I've learned everything I've ever known about Kate. Now I know from watching this. And of course, Kate is on vacation, so she's not even here today. Well, we have a lot to talk about. Next week is a very busy week here at Catholic TV because we will be bringing into your homes the Knights of Columbus. You'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there in Denver, and this is something that we've done the past few years. They have their Supreme Convention, 129th Supreme Convention taking place in Denver, and it's a great event, and it's great that we're able to be there and bring you not only the business session, the opening mass, but we're there able to talk to people there, and this just sort of highlight the great work that the Knights of Columbus do every day. And it's a great opportunity. And actually, we're going to be delving into some of the things that they're involved in. And one of the things that we're going to talk about as well is they're going to be at World Youth Day. And they're going to have their own, we're going to be finding out a little bit more about this when we get to Denver. But they're going to have their own, I don't know if it's a tent or area at World Youth Day.
15,000 seat
See, you know more than
area.
me. Yeah.
Well, I just want to see how far you'd go with that before I help you out. Yeah, 15,000 seat arena that they'll have music and they'll have talks, they'll have everything at.
Yeah, and everybody can drop by throughout the course of World Youth Day week and drop into the Knights place. And we're going to be talking about that in Denver as well. But we're also going to be covering that here at Catholic TV World Youth Day, which is coming up very shortly as well, third week of August, I believe. So. It's busy. It's very, very busy, and as I had put on the Facebook page, we have the new cameras are going in everywhere. We finally
that's great. We had new cameras, but now they were loaners until we got our actual new cameras. We got them. Another great thing that just happened is, did you see the van?
I did. Yeah, they're very nice looking.
We have a vehicle here at Catholic TV that we've had for a while. Well, we decided to get it wrapped, and we got it wrapped, and you will know it's Catholic TV if you ever see it. It looks awesome.
Now explain wrap to the folks
wrap
out
means,
there.
Okay, well, wrap means
I'm picturing like cellophane.
You know what? I think you're close. Because what they do is they just put this picture on material and they put it right on to the vehicle. Ours is a Ford Transit. And it changes the color. It was white. It's not white anymore. It's like this greenish tan now. So, and Catholic TV everywhere.
Big glow. Yeah,
I wanted to put your face on it, but it just didn't make the cut. It was close. It was this close.
Couldn't get a wrap that fit the face.
Well, one thing we could do is, this was the tease. Father Reed obviously is not here. He's talking at a Legatus conference down in New Orleans. So good luck to him. But he is here in a sense because he does Viaggio Romas. So let's take a look right now.
Hey, we're back in Rome, everyone. Ciao. We're here standing in front of the Basilica of St. John Lateran, dedicated to both St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist. The Basilica di San Giovanni in Laterano is the first among the 4 major basilicas in Rome. In ancient times, the site of this cathedral basilica was occupied by the palace of the family of the Laterani, the Lateran family, hence the name of the church. It's the cathedral of the Bishop of Rome, who is the Pope. And so this church is known as Omnium Urbis et Orbis Ecclesiarum Mater et Caput, or the Cathedral of Rome and of the whole world. Built by Constantine the Great in the 4th century, San Giovanni in Laterano was the first church to be built in this entire city. It contains several important relics, a 13th century cloister, and an ancient baptistry, San Giovanni in Fonte. Many important historical events have taken place in St. John Lateran, including 5 ecumenical councils. Back in 1929, the Lateran Pacts, which established the territory and status of the Vatican State, were actually signed here between the Holy See and the government of Italy. The Lateran Palace, which is attached to the Basilica, known as the Patriarchate, was the Pope's official residence all the way up to the 15th century. Right now, the offices of the Cardinal Vicar of Rome occupy that Lateran Palace right behind the Basilica. The Pope, of course, resides in the Vatican. However, he traditionally celebrates the Holy Thursday evening Mass of the Lord's Supper every single year in this, his cathedral. St. John Lateran retains, internally at least, the original plan from the days of Constantine, a large rectangular hall with an impressive nave flanked by double aisles and then terminating in an apse. The emperor seems to have desired a building that would rival the Roman meeting halls of ancient Rome, which were called basilicae. In fact, this basilica has provided a model for the majority of Roman church buildings. Today, standing before its 18th century facade with this crazy Roman traffic on every side, it can be pretty difficult to imagine this as the center of Roman Catholicism. Before we go, I invite you just to glance upwards. Towering against the Roman sky, a statue of Christ the Redeemer flanked by saints and doctors of the church, Jesus displaying the cross of his triumph. From outside the cathedral of the Pope's Diocese of Rome, the Basilica of St. John Lateran. Ciao for now, everyone. Ci vediamo presto.
And we are back. I have to tell you, St. John Lateran is one of my favorite churches. And if you look very, very carefully during that, you'll actually see my parents, because they were in Rome while we were there, and they are moving around in the background once in a while. So that's a bit of behind the scenes. Kevin, what do you think about that? My parents are in the videos of that.
That's pretty amazing, Jay.
Maybe amazing might not be the word, but it's interesting.
Not quite as amazing as over here. This is great. We got the nice new camera here. We got a nice new prompter here. We got a monitor over here. I'm just in heaven.
Are you a little nervous about it, though?
I am. Now that everything is really in place, I'm afraid I might just mess up a little bit.
Yeah, if you make a mistake now, you can't blame it on the equipment. It's just right on you. Well, Kevin, what's going on around the world in the Catholic faith?
All right, thanks, Jay, and hello, everyone. It is time to take a look at the news. We begin with news from Washington. According to the Apostolic Nuncio in Washington, Archbishop Pietro Sambi, Papal Nuncio to the United States, has been placed on assisted ventilation since experiencing complications from delicate lung surgery performed 2 weeks earlier. The Apostolic Nunciature and the Nuncio's family asked for prayers for the Archbishop. Archbishop Sambi is 73 years old and was named Papal Nuncio to the United States by Pope Benedict XVI in December of 2005. At the time of his appointment, he was the Vatican's representative to Israel and Palestine, where he helped arrange Pope John Paul II's historic pilgrimage to the Holy Land in 2000. The Archbishop is known for his warm and affable manner, sense of humor, and being open and ready to listen to people. In news now from the Vatican, at his Angelus address over the weekend, Pope Benedict XVI referred to the recent bombing and shootings in Oslo, Norway, by calling on an end to hatred and ideologies that promote evil. Rome Reports has more on the address.
Maria In his Sunday Angelus from Castel Gandolfo, Benedict XVI condemned violence and prayed for the victims of the terrorist attack in Norway. The attack of a lone gunman left 93 dead in the capital of Oslo. The Pope offered his prayers and solidarity for those who lost friends and family.
Ancora una volta purtroppo giungono notizie di morte e di violenza. Proviamo tutti un profondo dolore per I gravi atti terroristici accaduti venerdì scorso in Norvegia. Preghiamo per le vittime, per I feriti e per I loro cari.
Benedict XVI also spoke on the importance of doing good and avoiding evil in our own conscience. He said this would lead to a society of justice and peace. The Pope asked that everyone make this internal reflection and to abandon the way of hatred.
A tutti voglio ancora ripetere l'accorato appello ad abbandonare per sempre la via dell'odio e a fuggire dalle logiche del male.
When speaking on building peaceful societies, the Pope also noted that those holding political office have more responsibilities and thus need God's help even more.
Since that report was released, the death toll has been decreased from 93 to 76. The suspect in both the shooting and the bombing, who reportedly admitted to the killings, pleaded not guilty in an Oslo court on Monday. In news now from around the world, the state-run Chinese news agency published a statement July 25th from the Chinese government that criticized the Vatican for excommunicating 2 bishops who were ordained without papal mandate. According to the Asian Church News Agency, UCA News, the State Administration for Religious Affairs, or SARA, said the Vatican's action was extremely unreasonable and rude. A SARA spokesman was quoted as saying that if the Vatican has the sincerity to improve relations, it should revoke the excommunications and return to the right track of dialogue in a practical manner. The Vatican has expressed deepening concern over such ordinations and emphasized that willing participants in such ceremonies face severe penalties under church law, including automatic excommunication for the ordained bishop and the consecrating bishops. And finally in the news, the one-time home of noted television preacher Reverend Robert Schuller was put up for auction earlier this year. And now the Diocese of Orange, California has made a formal bid of $50 million to buy the Crystal Cathedral complex in Garden Grove. Crystal Cathedral Ministries, founded by Reverend Schuller, who is now retired, filed for bankruptcy last October. It was facing debt amounting to more than $50 million. Opening in 1980, the 2,900-seat Crystal Cathedral was one of the nation's first mega churches. It is made up of more than 10,000 panes of glass. In a statement, Orange Bishop Todd Brown said that the cathedral underscores the vitality of faith in our modern society, and with the diocese's offer, they will enable this beacon of faith to continue to influence others as an important place of worship. The Orange Diocese does not currently have a cathedral to serve its 1.2 million Catholics. Based on the size of its Catholic population, Orange is the 11th largest diocese in the nation. The diocese covers all of Orange County, which has a total population of 3 million. Well, that is all the information we have for you on this Tuesday, July 26th. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to be back talking with Bill Donaghy in just a moment.
You know, I used to be pro-choice, but with new medical advances, unborn babies are now being saved before birth with blood transfusions, even heart surgery. I'm confused. Why are some little ones, while still in the womb, treated with miracles, and other tiny babies of very same ages and perfectly healthy, aborted? Pro-choice just doesn't make sense to me anymore.
No, that's good, good. And we are back, and joining us now is Bill Donaghy, a Catholic husband, dad, professor, and theology of the body speaker. Bill, thanks so much for being with us.
Good to be with you, Jay. Kevin?
Hey, I have to special hello to the family who are in the green room right now.
Yes,
I know your kids
indeed.
and your wife are over there, so there's a little hello.
Yes,
Hi to everyone. Seth was really watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's paying attention. So he's probably saying there's Dad right now.
That's right. Hey, Seth.
Hey, tell us about Mission Moment.
Mission Moment. The backstory on that, this is my speaking ministry. I feel God has really invited me to sort of begin. In the year 2000, I was in Rome for a jubilee of missionaries. And there were hundreds of missionaries from around the world. We were all there to be reinvigorated in our mission call. And at the World Mission Day Mass in St. Peter's, I was chosen among all these hundreds of people to represent the United States as one of the 12 sort of apostolic representatives. We have people from Haiti, Ireland, Africa. So here I am, picked out to be the guy from America. And our Holy Father, John Paul II, put a cross around my neck. And he said, bring Jesus back to your country.
Wow.
I mean, in front of 80,000 people at St. Peter's, blown away. I came back to the States, and a year later I started this Mission Moment, which is really just bringing the new evangelization to our country. And so I travel throughout the country. I give talks on the new evangelization. And in the last 5 years for the Theology of the Body Institute. Tremendous blessing. It doesn't feel like work. It's my passion, you know.
As we mentioned, you're a dad. You're also a speaker. You're a professor as well. And how do you sort of keep it all together and keep on going?
Yeah. Lots of prayer and lots of coffee.
Yeah.
Those are the keys right there. But I found that what I feel God calling me to, it's all of one cut in a certain sense. It's all rich in the faith and the speaking, the teaching, and especially the fatherhood and being a husband. So I just find that the grace provides, and again, coffee. The eighth sacrament is coffee.
Tell me about theology of the body, because people hear the term all the time, but sometimes they're not sure what it really entails.
Right. It is a beautiful teaching. It really began with the thought of John Paul II back into the 50s, the 1950s, when he wrote a book called Love and Responsibility. And it's all about the gift of human sexuality as being an icon. Spousal love is an icon of God's love for humanity. So it just lifts up the vocation of marriage and family life and shows us that God is in all of that. And which is so important today, because sometimes we think our crazy family life, we pack up the minivan, we drag everybody to church, and then you're in church. Mm-hmm. Shh. But really, John Paul has said that the family is the mystery of God and this exchange of love. So theology of the body is this deep scriptural meditation on the meaning of being a man and a woman, the meaning of the marital embrace, and how God is speaking in that physical sign. He's speaking of a spiritual reality. So it just is changing the way we think about everything in the creed, as George Weigel, the Pope's biographer, has said.
Yeah, George, good guy.
Talk about your speaking, Bill, and you go around, as you mentioned, all around the country and stuff, and maybe what's your experience been meeting with people and getting out there and sort of bringing the new evangelization, and what has been people's reaction?
Well, it's been quite a number of years now, and what's beautiful about it is I'm a layman out there trying to just speak about the beauty of our faith, and many times I've heard that, like, wow, you're a husband and a father and you're doing this work. And I just say, well, I feel called to do it. I feel that we're all called to a deepening of our faith. And that's really what it's all about. So people have been kind of struck by that. They love to meet Rebecca and the kids. And as much as I can, we bring our whole family out to an event, a talk, a presentation. And it's just been a grace. I feel like I'm riding this tidal wave of this new evangelization. And it's all good.
Because it's about the family too. It's so important.
It is,
it's about the family, and we're all three of us are dads out here, so we understand.
Power to dads.
Power, that's it. Power to dads. Hey, there's great excitement at Immaculata University about the new movie that's about to release, Mighty Max, that's based on a women's basketball team. Tell us, how excited are they over there?
Yeah,
it's a great
very
story.
Excited. Yeah, it was a couple years ago. I teach a marriage and family class there at Immaculata. And they got the TV crews going, and they're right on site, and it created a big stir. So I mean, it's back to the women's basketball team in the 70s and how well they did. So we're just excited to get some good Catholic press time. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
Anytime that can happen. So yeah, we're really excited, and the Immaculate Heart Sisters are very excited.
Yeah, but we see, if you see the previews of it, they have the full habit on, and which a lot of young people have never seen.
Right.
And it looks wonderful. It looks. I can't wait to see it. Well, where can people learn more about you and your work, Bill?
They could jump online and go to missionmoment.org, and through that website they'll find links to a blog that I try to run where I talk about fatherhood and the faith, and also links to the Theology of the Body Institute. And so I invite everybody there, missionmoment.org.
Well, I know you're heading up to Maine pretty soon, so thank you so
Vacation
much.
land.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Maine, the way life should be.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping by and joining us today. Bring your whole family. It was a pleasure to meet everyone.
Thank
We have
you.
more of This Is the Day right after this. Stay with us, and we're going to have somewhat of a premiere. You'll like it, I think.
I think it's so easy in this day and age to be swept up in popular culture. There's a certain machismo that as men we're expected to do certain things. We don't need anyone's help. We can do it alone. But the truth is, we all need support. I'm not sure it was one thing that attracted me to the Knights initially. I think it was a number of different things. I'd been raised Catholic, looking for other men who were on that same path and in that same journey. But what I found was that the Knights offered many other things. Security for my family, through not only life insurance, but through a belief, a common structure that all brothers in the Knights share, a support for one another and a support for our family. And I know I have my fellow Knights that are walking that same path and sharing that same journey with me. And that's why I chose to become a Knight.
I have to tell you, it was a joy to have Bill and his family here on This Is the Day today. Just a great guy.
Yeah, great guy, and very filled with a faith. And it's it was interesting to hear about him going out to different places around the country and people responding to him and his family.
Yeah. Well, imagine being there and the Holy Father, Pope John Paul II, saying, "Go and evangelize," and he did.
Yeah.
He listened to that message, and he went out there, and he continues to do it in a very, very good way.
Yeah.
So we appreciate his time. Hey, one thing we do here at Catholic TV is we try to do what Bill is trying to do, and that's welcome people back to the church too, because we miss you. If for one reason or another you have left the church for your own reasons, we'd like to have you come back because you're part of our church community, part of the church family, and it's always sad when someone who is part of your family leaves. So we want you to come back. And what we did years ago, I started working on an idea, and I could never bring it to fruition. And then Brian Swift showed up. And I said, Brian, here's something we'd like to do. Here's a kind of a skeleton of an idea, and we fleshed it out a little bit. And Brian worked really hard with the Ward family.
Yeah, I understand it took a while to cast the actual promo itself. Extensive search around the country for actors and actresses.
Yes, we looked everywhere. We looked around the world, actually, and then decided that we would do it right here at Catholic TV and use the Ward family. And Sean, of course, a well-known actor. Maybe that's a different Ward I'm thinking of. But the purpose, we're joking around, obviously, but the purpose of it, I think you'll understand as soon as you see it. So more or less, it's been on a couple of times, but I'm going to say this is the premiere of Welcome Back to the Church.
Mom, why don't we go to church anymore?
Well, it's been pretty busy around here lately, honey. I mean, between school and homework and ballet and karate and Girl Scouts and Little League.
And work for your mom and me.
And then there's bike rides and camping trips. What's wrong, honey?
Nothing's wrong, it's just... We used to go all the time, but we haven't gone in a while. I thought it was kind of... important?
Well, what time is it, like 3:30? Okay guys, let's get your shoes on. If we hustle, we can make the 4 o'clock mass.
Dad, could we get some ice cream after church?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, wonderful job. It's great to watch. There are some
Yeah.
hidden talents in there too.
I love the fact that they're constantly reading the Catholic TV Monthly there.
Yes.
Yeah, the kids
well, of course,
enjoy
Sean.
it.
That is Sean's. He's in charge of that magazine, so that makes sense. But we have Kim.
Kim's
who's
in there,
and
yeah,
Brian
yeah.
makes an appearance in there.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, is directing it, so he has to. He's like Alfred Hitchcock of Catholic
That's
TV.
right.
He
Yeah.
makes an appearance.
And there's a voice in there
pieces.
too that's different from the actual character.
Genevieve.
Yeah,
That is Genevieve.
so it was a great. Lots of people working together. Lots of talents coming together. Put that all together. So
But you know, that happens too, though. You see people a lot of times, and what will happen is with our busy lives, and maybe you're just tuning in, and I hope you're listening if you haven't gone to church for a while. You just say, okay, well, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. But I think you have to prioritize, and you have to say what's the most important. And for us as Catholics, the Eucharist is our source and summit in our life through Christ, in Christ. And so that's where we should be. We should be at Mass every single Sunday.
And I've actually heard stories about that too, where it's actually the kids that sort of ask the questions to get the parents thinking and draw them back into the church as well. So it's the promo itself is actually, I think, a story that many people can relate to. you
Right.
know.
Well, and you know, when Bill's talking about family, it is our responsibility as moms and dads to show and teach the faith to our children. And one of the ways to do that, the most important way, is to attend Mass, listen to the readings, listen to the homily from the priest. So I just think it's an important moment. And once again, if for one reason or another you've left the church, we really would love you to come back. We welcome you back with open arms. And you know, another thing too is, by the way, just on a side note, there was a young person, very young, like 7, who was watching House and Home, and because he kept watching it, his whole family converted to the Catholic faith.
Wow, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Hey, Kevin, thanks so much for being with us. We'd like to thank Bill for joining us and telling us a little bit of his story and using his time and talents and his whole family's time and talents to bring Jesus into so many people's lives. And thank you for watching this day. Father Reed will be back this week, this Friday, so hope you can join us. Know you're in our thoughts and our prayers.